Hello and welcome to a video tutorial on basic column addition. We're going to start off by adding two numbers together, two numbers that have 3 digits. So we're going to look at 234 or 234 plus 400 and when I can write it, 412. How we start off by doing that is we want to line them up starting with the units. So we have a little, if we set up our own little grid, if we look at units and we look at tens and we look at hundreds. We want to put, it doesn't really matter which, but generally we would put the first number first. If we line them up so we've got the units under the units, the tens under the tens, and the hundreds under the hundreds. And again, we do this with the same with the second number, 412. We generally put a little addition symbol next to it and rule off with lines to help us differentiate between the answer and the question. We then go about by adding the units column. So this is the 4 and the 2. That makes 6. We then add the tens column, which is the 3 and the 1. That gives us 4. We then look at finally the hundreds column, giving us 2 and 4, which is 6. So the answer to 234 add 412 gives us 646. Okay, that's all well and good. But what happens when the numbers are slightly more complicated? Let's look at those scenarios. Let's try and move this out of the way, if it'll ever go. Okay, so let's look at the situation where we could have 396 plus 264. These have numbers which are greater than 5, which complicate the issue slightly. So, again, we still look at lining them up with the units, tens, and hundreds. We're going to start by putting the first number first. So we're going to go 396. And the second number, 264. We're going to make sure we're lining them up, the units with the units, the tens with the tens, and the hundreds with the hundreds. Do a line and an addition sign. Now, 6 plus 4 is greater than 10. So we put the unit symbol in this line, and then we will do what's called carry the 1. So you can still see that we have a 10, but we actually have a 1 and a 0 carrying over the 1. Okay, we're now going to do the tens column, 9 and 6, but now we have this extra 1 to think about. So we add that to the 9 and the 6 and we get 16, but again now we have a tens number that needs to be carried. So we put the units here and we carry the 1 underneath the hundreds column, and now we're ready to add the hundreds. It's getting slightly messy now, but I think you can follow. We have 3, 2 and 1, which all needed to be added together. 3 add 2 is 5, add 1 is 6. That gives us an answer of 396, add 264 is 660. Well, that's all well and good, you may say. But what happens when we have larger numbers? So, let's look at those cases. Let's look at the casing scenario where we have 3,214 plus 21. It's still important that we line them up in order. So we look first of all for the units, then the tens, then the hundreds, and then finally the thousands, because we do have thousands in this case. So 4 is the first unit, then 1, then 2, then 3, and underneath we only have units and tens, so we line up the 1 and the 2 for 21. We still add our ruling off line and the addition symbol to help us understand what we're doing. We have 4 plus 1 You can see that units first always, and that gives us 5. Now we're going to do the tens again, and we have the 1 plus the 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. Now in the hundreds column, there's nothing here or here in the thousands column to be added. So it's quite simple. We just copy the numbers down because they're adding onto 0. And that gives us 3,214 plus 21 is 3,235. If you have any questions, you can rewind through the video. Other than that, thank you for watching. Check out my other online video tutorials. Goodbye.